Hi friends, good morning all of you. Welcome back to CAP classes. So today in this lecture session we are going to see how to write strategic management exam, how to present the answers and how to score maximum marks. So I'll be giving you certain preparation techniques, certain presentation techniques, and how you can balance if you do not have strong conceptual knowledge in EIS and information technology, how to balance that with your strategic management. Everything we'll discuss. To begin with, the question paper has two parts. This paper 7 has two parts, part A, part B. So what is part A? Part A is your EIS or information technology. Part B is your strategic management. So obviously this is for 50 marks. This is for 50 marks. So how this 50 marks is tested? There are two parts. One is objective, 15 marks, and another one is descriptive. Objective is for, one second, objective is for 15 marks and descriptive is for 35 marks. So in this objective 15 marks, as already I have explained in MTP lecture previously, so there will be a case study based, case scenario based, one question will be there for 5 marks. General MCQs will be there for 10 marks. So total it will be 15 marks. Case study based, 5 MCQs will be there. One case study they'll give you, one story they'll give you. After that story, 5 bits they'll give you. And one interesting thing is, even in these 5 MCQs also, some of them will not have any connection with the case study. Normal general MCQs will come in this category also. So probably we can say 12 MCQs on an average will be general MCQs. 2 or 3 hardly will have some connection with the case study. Then descriptive questions, there are total 5 questions. Okay, there are total how many questions? 5 questions. In this 5 questions, one question 5 marks is compulsory. Then 4 questions are for 10 marks each. Out of this 4 questions of 10 marks, you have to write 3 questions of 10 marks. So 3 into 10 is 30 here, 30 plus 5 35, plus 15 50 marks. So how your 50 marks paper is given? One 5 marks compulsory question. This compulsory question again will be a story based question. Okay, they'll give you X Limited is a company, started something, X Limited's founder is something. So all this story you need to listen. Sir, why should I listen story, sir? 5 marks, and you should this is one. Then descriptive questions, the good news here is out of 4 you need to write only 3. That means already one question choice is there, and in one of the questions internal choice also will be there. For example take 4th question, 4A or 4A and then 4B. That means for 4A you have internal choice. Either you can write 4A first question or you can write 4A second question. Then you need to write 4B. So here 30 marks and here 5 and 10. So this is how total 50 marks is there. For EIS and for SM, the marks allocation, the structure of the question paper is same. The structure of the question paper is same. So if you have strong knowledge in information technology and EIS, nothing to beat it, you will get 80 marks in this paper. But majority of the students, normally what they do, Sare, SM I can manage, but EIS nothing I am able to understand, Sare. When I am reading, either question is going from here, Sare, or sometimes answer will go here, but it will go out from here, Sare. What to do, Sare? In that situation, strategic management you might have read. What to do with strengths and weaknesses? What to do with strengths and threats? Neutralize threats, eliminate weaknesses, capitalize the opportunities by using strengths. Same thing we'll do here also. So what we do is, if you are scared of information technology or EIS, that 15 marks MCQs are there, no? Last 5 RTP, MTP, last 5 RTP, MTP and ICI study material, Only 5 chapters are there. No, at the end of chapter, some MCQs will be there. And in ICAI website, they have given some MCQs, practice MCQs. All these put together, how many will be there? 200, 300. Read them. Trust me, out of 15 marks, if you read last 5 RTPs, last 5 MTPs, last 1-2 suggested answers, anyway, they will not give you MCQs, okay? In suggested answers, they are giving only descriptive answers. So ICAI study material, if you read, trust me, for 15 marks, you will get minimum 10 to 12. Minimum 10 to 12. So, minimum 10 to 12 you have got. Then, because only one day is there, tomorrow by this time you will be in exam hall, no? Because only one day is there, EIS or SM study only most important questions which are repetitively asked. Most important questions which are repetitively asked. That you read. So your target is total 7th paper is there for 100 marks, no? In this EIS is there, no? In EIS multiple choice target 10 marks. Read many multiple choice questions. In the other, even if you get 10 marks, out of 35 marks, target only 10. Bas. In strategic management, out of objective, out of 15, minimum 12 you will get easily. Even with normal common sense also, you will get 10 to 12 marks. Then descriptive paper, whatever is there, you can get 20, 25. Pawan sir, is it easy to get 25? I will show you one answer paper, okay? So this is the answer paper evaluated by ICAI, real answer paper. ICAI evaluated this. This is your latest answer paper. Okay, so see the date 14/4/2020. 14/4/2020. That means 2020 this year April. It is obtained. And which attempt it is? November 2019 attempt. Look here, how many marks this gentleman has got? For 35 marks, look here, he got 25. Look here, for 35 marks, look at this hand cursor. Out of 35, he got 25. Trust me, it is not, that he has verbatim reproduced whatever is there in ICAI study material. No. He has not by-hearted it completely. He has not verbatim as it is, like makki stamp answers he has not written. A decently written answer paper, but not copy of ICAI material. That means even without by-hearting answers, even without mugging up the answers, you can get 20, 25 marks. 25, I appreciate this guy. Maybe you can target 20. So if you target 20, look there, 10 plus 10, 20 plus 12, 52 plus 20. Khatam. What else you want? 10 plus 10 plus 12, 32 plus 20, 52. Easily you'll pass. And if you polish your strategic management answers little more, plus 10 is possible here. If you polish your information technology little more, plus 10 is possible here. It will take you to 70. It will take you to 70. Now students will say, Pawan sir, after listening to all this strategy, I am motivated and I feel like if I have 5 more days, I can read it properly. Shameless guy, tomorrow morning is the exam. What to do? So don't worry, jo ho gaya, so ho gaya. Till yesterday, whatever has happened, happened. Till today, 12:37, now the time is. Whatever has happened, has happened. From this 12:37 till tomorrow afternoon 2 o'clock, exam time, if you can effectively, productively utilize this, that is more than enough. So now let us see how this gentleman has written answers, how he got marks, and what are the areas where he lost marks. Let us see. Okay, so let us also see this question paper. Okay, this is 2019 November question paper. 2019 November question paper. Part B. Paper 7, Part B. So what did I say? First question, 5 marks. Compulsory. Next 4 questions, 10 marks each. 3 questions is, what you need to write out of 4 questions. Every question will have subparts. 5, 5, 6, 4. Like that, subparts will be there. Now look here. X Limited, XYZ company. An XYZ company is facing continuous losses. An XYZ company, if it is a no, why answer? Chalo, anyway, no problem. An XYZ company. No. An XYZ company is facing continuous losses. Okay. there is decline in sales and product market share. Okay, now don't read anything else. You tell me a company which is in continuous losses and whose sales are decreasing, product market share is decreasing, what strategy you will apply? Will you apply expansion strategy? No. Will you apply stability strategy? No. Will you apply combination strategy? What strategy you have to apply? Common sense, turnaround strategy. So in the exam hall, stand up from your seat, sing the song, teddy bear, turn around. Seriously, no. Turnaround strategy you need to apply. That's all. Okay. Then the products of the company became uncompetitive. See how clear the hints are. Hints, ishara samjho. Hints. They are saying continuous losses, turn around. Sales are falling, turn around. Market share is falling, turn around. Uncompetitive, turn around. Persistent negative cash flows, turn around. How can ICAI tell you more than this? So they have clearly said, shameless guy, if you do not understand, please, so many hints we have given, it is turnaround. The physical facilities are deteriorating, employees have low morale, all these are characteristics of turnaround. At the board meeting, the board members decided that they should continue the organization. That means you are not going for liquidation. So you are not going for external retrenchment, you are doing internal retrenchment. And adopt such measures that the company functions properly. The board has decided to hire young executive Shyamly for improving the functions of the organization. What corporate strategy should Shyamly? What is this name? I don't know. Okay. If you read it fast, you will say Shyamali. Whoever Tom, Dick and Harry he is. Our focus should not be on Shyamali, no. Our focus should be on turnaround strategy. Okay. Adopt for this company and what steps to be taken. Do you remember what is turnaround strategy? So first para, your answer should have two parts. First para, what is turnaround strategy? Right? What is turnaround strategy? After that, what are the steps involved in turnaround strategy? Do you remember? 5 stages are there. Do you remember? What are the stages? First, study the current problems. What are the current problems the company is facing? What are the current problems the company is facing? To analyze the situation. You tell me what is step 3? Emergency plan. Quick cash generating activities. 4. Restructure the business and prepare a retrenchment strategy. 5. Implement the strategy and try to go back to the normal. Turn around. Go back to the normal. That's all. Just when your answer is right, return to the normal. That's all. So this is the answer. So step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Assess the current problem. Analyze the situation. Develop a plan. Implement action plan. Restructuring the business. Returning to normal. Okay. Now, how our gentleman has written this answer. Answer to question number 8 will come back later to 8 will come back. Then he has written 8B. 8A has written, 8B has written. Super. Then 9A. No, 9A not required. Then 9B he has written. When you are writing one answer, see, have you seen what is the size of his answer? So 9B. 1 page, 1 side, second page, 2-3 lines. That's all. That means try to understand. If you write one side of your answer booklet, for 5 marks, it is enough. You don't trust me? You don't? No, sir. At least 4-5 pages. Arey, idiot. Yahan dekho. They have given 5 marks for this single page answer. 5 marks for the single page answer. Now let me see what is this question number 9B. Now let us go to the question paper. What is question paper 9B? Question paper, wait, 9B. Then I'll tell you what is the answer. Where is 9B? 9B. Discuss various approaches for evaluating the worth of a Laddu question, no? Sir, you are a finance teacher. You teach strategic management. This is functional, strategy in finance. Obviously, for you, you will hit sixer only. I'll tell you one thing, okay? Trust me, the answer can be general answer. I don't see any heavy strategic management or financial management, vocabulary or terminology here. How a business can be evaluated? A business can be evaluated based on profits, capitalization of profits. A business can be evaluated based on market price of the share, multiply number of shares with market price of the share. Valuation can be based on, profit capitalization or net asset valuation plus calculate super profits, multiply with number of years, goodwill, add goodwill to net assets. That is the value of business. So is there any strategic management in what I have discussed? Now let us see how our Bhaiya has written the answer. Following are approaches to evaluate net worth. 1. Net worth by net worth or equity shareholders worth. Super. General answer. Firm's worth equals to total assets minus outside liabilities. This is net assets. Actually, he should have written net assets model. He wrote net worth. Still it is okay. Then future benefits to shareholders. What is that? Future benefits to shareholders. Okay, like PE multiplier, valuation and all. You don't need to write price earnings ratio, calculate earnings, multiply with price earnings. That is also not required. That is also not required. Now, see here, benefits are considered more important than profits. What is that? If it is me, honestly, I would have put 0 here. What is benefits of considered more than profits? Still it is fine. He is speaking some sense. A conventional approach to measure worth is 5 times the firm's current annual profits. Need not to be. But he has written, okay. Then market determined net worth. This is right. So take the market price, multiply with the number of shares. The worth of an organization equals that of similar company that is sold. Then the market price of a share is divided by earnings per share and then it is multiplied by the PE ratio. Then he has striked this completely and he has written PE ratio. Then which is then multiplied in the firm's profit for preceding 5 years, usually 5. The total shares outstanding are multiplied with the market price and then premium is added. And he has got 5 out of 5. Are you understanding? You can write, trust me, you can write answer 2 times at least better than this answer. But the beauty what you need to understand is this gentleman has got 5 out of 5, no? So there is no mugging up. Jaswin is saying valuer is so kind. I cannot comment anything about the valuer is kind or stone-hearted, but I'll tell you one thing, okay? If you write decent answer, you will get marks. I really appreciate, like Jaswin said, the guy who evaluated this is like, Pavam, this guy. Chalo, let me give 2 more marks. If I am the person, I would have given 3 marks for this fight. I would have given 3 marks. But even if you get 3 marks also, it is 60%, no? But sir, we will not write all 100 marks, no. We will write little only, sir. That is the reason they are giving 5 marks. Now, let me see why this guy lost marks in 9A. Did you observe? In 9B, he got 5 out of 5. But in 9A, he got only 2. That is the reason total 9th question, he got only 7. Usually valuer wants students to fail. Why, Ritik? If you are a doctor and if a patient comes, do you want the patient to die? It is a wrong notion, okay? Ritik, tell me one thing. Today you are a student, you are saying usually valuer wants student to fail. I understand. There is a conception like this. I am not debating. Tomorrow you will become a chartered accountant. Okay, you will definitely become a chartered accountant. Tomorrow, imagine you applied for ICAI valuer post. Whoever applies, my partner also is now evaluating papers. Examiner he is now. So tomorrow you will evaluate paper. Do you intentionally want any of the student to fail? I will not. If I am evaluating paper, I am not supposed to evaluate paper because I am a teacher. But if at all I evaluate a paper, I do not want a student to fail intentionally, deliberately. I will not do that because I am not a psycho, I am a professional. So it is a wrong notion, okay? Don't live with that kind of mindset. Now, what I am explaining you, try to understand how to write answers, try to understand how not to write answers. Why are we going into the mindset of, one student was telling Pavan sir, what if my paper is evaluated by one person and that person in the morning fought with his wife and the wife has thrown one bucket on his face. So don't ask banana questions, okay? Chalo, anyway, so for this part B, he got 5 out of 5. Part A, he got only 2 marks. Why he got only 2 marks? Let us see. 9A, why he got only 2 marks? So he has written 2 sides. Did you observe? 9A, he has written 2 sides of the paper. 9B, he has written only 1 side of the paper. Are you understanding? For 9B, he got 5 out of 5. For 9A, where he wrote 2 pages, he got 2 marks. For 9B, he wrote 1 page, he got 5 marks. Try to understand, not the quantity, the quality speaks. So what is this question? Discuss what conditions rivalry among competitors tend to be cutthroat and profitability of the industry goes down. Discuss in what conditions rivalry among competitors tends to be cutthroat, where the competition will be severe and profitability of the industry goes down. Simple. It is a general question, okay? Where there is no market leader in the industry, where there are many players, where there are no entry exit barriers, where industry is not regulated, where pricing is not regulated, there competition will be more, profitability will be less. For example, if you are running petrol pump, petrol filling station, do you think you can quote your market price? No. Government will tell you, sell it at 82 rupees. You have to sell it 82. Government regulated. If it is not regulated, then there can be more competition. Entry barrier. If you need to start a bank, you need license from RBI. So between banks, competition will be less. Why? Because number of players are less. Then if industry leader is there, for example, Microsoft in operating systems, he is the leader. The market is not fragmented. Profitability will be very high. Competition will be very less. That is what you need to write. What our gentleman has written. First, let us see the correct answer also. What is the correct answer? 9A. They have written. See, dude, 10 lines. Answer. Answer. See the answer. 3 lines here. The intensity of rivalry in an industry is a significant determinant of industry attractiveness and profitability. Okay. The intensity of rivalry can influence cost of suppliers, correct? Distribution, cost of distribution, attracting customers and that directly affect the profit, correct? The intensity of rivalry directly affects the profit, correct? The more intensive the rivalry, the less attractive the industry is. Obviously, if you are entering into an industry where already competition is severe, you should not enter the industry. Rivalry among competitor tends to be more cutthroat and profitability will be low. When one industry has no clear leader, no market leader, I told you, competitors are numerous, competitors operate with a high fixed cost, competitors face high exit barriers, competitors have little opportunity to differentiate their offerings. That means differentiation is not possible, only cost leadership is possible. The industry faces slow or diminished growth rate. So these are the points they have written. Pavan sir, but you told many different points also. Beta, this is suggested answer. This is not law. If they have given 7 points, 6 points, if you have 2-3 different but valid points, anytime you can write. So what our Chambu has written, industry leader he has written, number of competitors he has written, correct these 2 points. Then fixed cost he has written, exit barriers he has written, differentiation he has written. Why only 2 marks they have given? This is wrong now. So they should have given 1-2 marks more here. They should have given. So in the next question, they should cut 1-2 marks. In this question, they should give 1-2 more marks. This guy actually has written correct answer here. Another thing I tell you, 9B is a generic answer. 9A is a specific answer. Actually, this guy has done pretty well in 9A. Okay, but anyway, this is how marks are given. So then net worth is there. This valuation, only 3 points they have given: net worth or stockholder equity, future benefits to owners, then market determined business worth. That's all. So we'll see one more question. 9B is over. We'll see one more question. 10A. 10B. Very good. Let us see 10A, 10B. So how he has written 10A, how many marks he has got? 3 out of 3. Very good. 10B he has got 4. No. For 5 he got 3. For 5 he got 4. So total 7 marks he has got. Not bad. 7 marks is a good score. So now let us see what is the question. 10A. So this question we'll see. After that, that is the end of discussion. Distinguish between transformational leadership style and transactional leadership style. Again, if you are a banana, you will start with leadership responsibility. The strategic role of leader is to be on the top, develop team, esprit de corps. Who asked you? They're asking you transformational leadership style, transactional leadership style. Simple. First, you'll put the heading transactional leadership style. A transactional leadership style refers to getting things done through establishing systems, processes, procedures, structures. These type of leaders will work better in a settled environment where the organizational running is smooth. Transactional leaders perform better. Next para, transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is a form of leadership where the leader uses his personal charisma and motivates people to get things done. These type of leaders will work more by motivating the subordinates, but not with the processes and procedures. When the environment the organization is working is not supportive, threatened, turbulent, adverse, transformational leadership works better. What else you want? 5 marks. Only that 2 paras for transactional leadership, this 2 paras for transformational leadership. That's all. Then they're asking you explain the concept and nature of BPR. This is a general question. Okay, they are not asking you in the model paper. If you have observed, they are asking you 3 aspects of information technology's influence or the use of information technology in BPR. 3 aspects. Then you need to write 3 aspects. 1, reduce the cycle time, that you need to write, or innovation, effectiveness, efficiency. That specifically you need to. Here they asked you write a short note on BPR kind of question. Now you can write Ramayana Mahabharata. Business process reengineering refers to reengineering of business processes, wherein reengineering refers to fundamental rethinking and radical redesign of the processes. A business process consists of various activities interlinked and interdependent. This kind of answers you can write. The objectives of business process reengineering are the steps involved in business process reengineering. Like that you can write. Then write a short note on the concept of cost leadership strategy and how can you achieve it. 2 parts are there. 1, what is cost leadership strategy? Okay, so you will say that a company develops competitive advantages by choosing to be a low cost provider in the industry, by manufacturing, pricing, selling the products at a price, at a cost or price which is less than its competitor, thereby outperforming the competitors. This is cost leadership strategy. So if you remember the diagram, do you remember Michael Porter's generic strategies? This side competitive advantage, 2 arrow marks down. Here, low cost provider, here uniqueness in the product. This side, this is customer base, broad customer base or narrow customer, targeted customers. Here 2 arrow marks again, broad based customers, narrow based customers. Broad based customers, low cost provider is cost leadership. If you explain this, it is enough. a company or an entity that chooses to be a cost leader targets broad customers across the market segments, across the industry. Then they're asking you how to achieve it. Do you remember in our material I have given you in bullet points, how can you give cost leadership strategy? Standardizing the product, systematizing the production process, cost controls, reducing the perquisites, reducing the wastages, increasing the efficiency levels. Okay, so if you want to give cost leadership strategy, you should have a very strong budgeting and control department. 5 points you write. Implement strict budgetary control system, limited staff perquisites, increase the span of control, so more number of subordinates for every manager, standardize the products, and try to enjoy large scale economy, increase the production, reduce the fixed cost. You understand? That's all. For 5 marks, what else you want? That's it. So write relevant answers. Write relevant answers. You will get marks. You understand? So don't be under any kind of misconception that they will cut marks like this, they will give marks like this. Nothing. Just take a deep breath with a calm mind. Happily go write the exam. That's all. You understand? So this is how you have to plan your IT and SM or EIS SM exam. Tomorrow by this time you'll be in exam hall, I am very sure. I wish you all the very, very, very best. God bless you. And trust me, getting 60s, 70s in EIS SM is not at all difficult. But little relevant answers you need to write. And another thing, one common question everybody asks, Pawan sir, for 5 marks, how much should I write? For 5 marks, 8 points maximum. And 1 to 1.5 side of the page. That's all. Enough. For 5 marks, 8 points. 1 to 1.5 side of a page is enough. You don't need to write more than that. Relevant points. Focus on the quality, not on the size of your answer. Even if your answer is running into 10 pages, if there are no relevant points, they'll put 0 only. Okay, so to wipe your tears, they'll not give any, what is that called? One prize will be there. After first prize, second prize, third prize, consolation prize. Okay, don't cry beta, consolation marks will not be there in CA. Okay. So no need to write, no need to fill the paper with some gas. So write relevant points more than enough. Understand? Okay. So thanks for watching this. Thanks for registering with us. Thanks for having trust. And the free resources are available in the app also, in the YouTube also. And for the revision students, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 is over. Today we have discussed this. And strategy implementation related videos are uploaded in your app. Read that also. Organizational structure, then controls, then leadership, then corporate culture, all these things uploaded in your app. Read them also. I wish you all the very best and good luck. Thank you.